Hopefully Drake doesn't come for me. Even though I've sort of inserted myself into this beef somehow. I mean, I made a couple songs. I made songs for on the Drake side as well, because I don't have no dog in this fight. Like, I like Kendrick. Drake's cool too. I'm probably music, I like Kendrick a little bit more than Drake, but I like the music Drake makes as well. But BBL Drizzy was so big, so I was like, I gotta make something for Drake. So I made, a couple songs that were good, but just didn't have that type of impact that BBL Drizzy had. So but one of the cool things though, I felt like when Drake did the Tupac, AI Tupac, I felt like he invited myself and everybody else that does AI into the beef, because I'm like, okay, now you're in my lane now.
And welcome back to another episode of the 100-Year Podcast. My name is Adario Strange, and this week we have with us a very special guest, comedian and AI innovator, creator, Willonius Hatcher. Willonius, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm great. How are you?
I'm awesome. Where are you calling from? Florida? Where are you at right now?
I'm actually in LA right now. My hotel room. Yeah, I'm out here for the Netflix is a Joke festival.
Okay. Oh, and I think you just came back from Las Vegas. You did like a kind of like a prompt battle. Tell me a little bit.
Yeah, with Curious Refuge. Yep. So officially a AI esports athlete now. So that's pretty cool. But
I thought that was a joke I saw on social media. So wait, EA actually has AI esports athletes now? Is that like real?
And so did I say AI? So no, it's not affiliated with EA Sports, but it's like it's a esports competition.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, esports. But yeah, AI. It was the first AI esports competition, and so yeah, didn't make it all the way in it, but it was like super fun. Got to meet like some really dope people within the AI community, and yeah. So and now I'm a AI esports athlete. So I'm looking for my shoe deal. Hopefully I can get one soon, and yeah.
And I saw like some photos. So it's like a live event with like an audience and everything, right? Like the big, just like they would do like a normal esports event. And so you guys did like a live prompt battle like against different.
So they matched us up, two teams, red team, blue team. And then it was just like, people within the AI industry that, AI community that, are really great prompt engineers, and we competed against each other using the platform Leonardo, and it was 3 rounds, and we had to each round we went against each other, and we had to like make different type of art. So one was like live canvassing, one was like live prompting, and then the last round they gave you a picture that you had to like recreate using these AI tools. So it was really dope and like pretty intense, and which I didn't, because I was like, oh, okay, prompt, like like when you first think about it, you're like, I don't know, but it was such a dope experience, and the audience was like, we had like a live crowd in front of us, and they were like super into it. So, I'm excited where this AI community is headed.
And just for those who don't know, Caleb from Curious Refuge was a previous guest on the 100-Year Podcast. Please check our archives for that. Netflix is a joke. I know that's been going on for a while, like for some years. Like, just tell for people who don't know what that is, like explain what Netflix is a joke is.
Yeah, it's just like a big comedy festival with a bunch of comedians. Netflix puts it on, and it's just, I would say damn near everybody in comedy is out here. Last night I got to see Dion Cole DJ, which was like really dope. Actually went to Runway's AI Film Festival last night as well. But yeah, it's just a huge festival, bunch of comedians. A bunch of parties, and lots of laughs. So yeah.
Yeah, I actually saw some photos from the Runway event. It was pretty packed. But people listening or watching may wonder, okay, he's talking about comedy, he's talking about AI. Who is this guy? Let's quickly play a clip that kind of represents the reason I'm so excited to have Willonius on.
best BBL in history. This cake will make you show up.
All right, so I just have to tell you, Willonius, this is my. It's not quite the summer yet, but this is the song of the summer for me. I am literally walking around singing this song, repeating the lyrics. I'm actually singing. I'm not just like humming. This is a hit for me in my household. I've heard all the other versions. I know you've done like kind of like R&B, kind of 90s R&B version. You've done country versions. You've done all these different versions. But yeah, yacht rock. But this is the one for me that, and I think for a lot of people that resonates the most. First of all, before we get into like how you made it, tell it like for those unacquainted with the Drake, Kendrick Lamar, Rick Ross, and I guess J. Cole beef. When you try to explain to people who aren't like fully invested in this, what's kind of like the short elevator version of like what's going on here, like to explain the song?
Rappers beefing, and that's just, I mean, so rappers beefing. You know, you got the top rappers in the game. They finally, you know, it's something that I think people been wanting to see for a long time, is Drake and Kendrick to go at it. You know, then we had J. Cole kind of step in and do his thing, and then he apologized, and it was so crazy. Interesting enough, I don't know if you got a chance to see my Game of Thrones trailer.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that later. Yeah.
Okay. So that came out the day that J. Cole apologized, and I'm like, damn man, like you messing up the whole, because this thing's actually been going on for a really long time, which is kind of crazy. But Rick Ross came in, and he just he was like the wild card in Uno, you know, like he kind of just really flipped the table with his stuff. And then I just remember seeing BBL Drizzy trending on Twitter, and I was like, I need to make a song about this. Like, this is hilarious. And I wrote a song, and then which I've done in the past. Like I've written comedy songs. So prior to this, I've been making comedy songs for damn near over almost 2 decades or whatever, like making comedy music. But I will always like make whatever's like trending. I had one that's like really popular. It's called Booty Fingers. It was based on Kanye West.
Okay.
The whole, I don't remember if you remember when like Amber Rose, I'm sorry, Kanye was tweeting when I think The Life of Pablo was coming out. He was going back and forth with Wiz Khalifa on Twitter. And then Kanye said, no, Wiz said, hit the KK and chill out. And Kanye thought he was talking about Kim Kardashian. So Kanye said, Wiz, I own your child. Because he had a child with Amber Rose. And Amber Rose jumped on Twitter and was like, Kanye, you're just mad because I don't stick my finger in your booty no more. And Kanye, that was.
I remember that part. Yeah, trending a bit. Yeah.
So I made a song called Booty Fingers, which I still perform like sometimes on stage because it's like hilarious. But like that's always been my MO. Like sometimes, a lot of times they don't necessarily go viral. It's just I just make it to creatively just express myself and just put it on my SoundCloud and just call it a day. But this, for whatever reason, just like took off, probably because of the way it sounds. Like it's, you know, sounds like a Motown song. So yeah,
absolutely. You know, so for those who maybe, you know, a lot of our listeners are like kind of maybe tech only and they don't really get into the rap beef. So let me just unpack this a little bit and correct me if I'm wrong. So, well, I think a lot of people know BBL refers to a Brazilian butt lift, but often when people use that term, they just mean plastic surgery in general. Mm-hmm. And so Rick Ross kind of fired back at Drake, kind of accusing him of plastic surgery of various sorts. But this has actually been kind of like this internet rumor, unfounded, founded, who knows, but for years about plastic surgery and Drake. And so Rick Ross just decided to, I guess, weigh in. And I think that's how the BBL Drizzy thing kind of like, as a term on the internet, kind of took off. So just, you know, for those who, you know, keeping score, it's Rick Ross, Kendrick Lamar, Drake, and J. Cole. Am I missing anybody? I think that those are the main guys involved in all this.
Yeah. I mean, Future and Metro Boomin.
Okay.
Would like that. Yeah. And then, I mean, J. Cole pulled out. So right now, and then I think.
No Diddy.
Yeah, no Diddy.
Continue. I'm sorry.
What happened, you know, what's interesting, like, because Rick Ross, he kind of, he woke a lot because Rick Ross brought the humor, and but Drake kind of like totally dismissed him and was like, yeah, I'm directing my attention back to Kendrick, and like you're not really a factor. But Rick Ross really made, like, Rick Ross is a master troller, so you really don't want to go bar for bar for him if he's in his troll bag, because
Right.
I just think you really can't compete because he's just gonna drop so many jokes. But yeah, not the BBL Drizzy. But I mean, BBL Drizzy is just a funny word, regardless.
Yeah,
So,
it is.
um,
And as we speak, I think just a couple of days ago, Kendrick Lamar released his own response in the ongoing rap beef called Euphoria. I think it's like 8 minutes,
yeah,
something like that, 6 or 7, 8 minutes.
yeah, it's crazy.
Really, I mean, this is like crafted. This guy went deep into the archives of Drake's history and just.
Yep.
It's pretty interesting because I'm in a past life I'm from the music industry and I remember all the rap beefs. I've rarely seen something that is this meta referential in terms of like
Yeah.
unpacking people's history. And just so anyone looking for it, it's Willonius Hatcher will get you to the song, but also you are AKA King Willonius, AKA Avocado Poppy, yes?
Yep.
Which is a
Yep.
take on Drake's what is it? Champagne Poppy, right?
Yeah. Hopefully Drake doesn't come for me. Even though I've sort of inserted myself into this beef somehow.
Successfully. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I made a couple songs. I made songs on the Drake side as well. Because I don't have no dog in this fight. Like, I like Kendrick. Drake's cool too. I'm probably music. I like Kendrick a little bit more than Drake, but I like the music Drake makes as well. But like I've made. BBL Drizzy was so big, so I was like, I got to make something for Drake. So I made, a couple songs that were good, but just didn't have that type of impact that BBL Drizzy had. So, but one of the cool things though, I felt like when Drake did the Tupac AI Tupac, I felt like he invited myself and everybody else that does AI into the beef, because
Exactly.
I'm like, okay, now you're in my lane now. So
right. That's what I was thinking too when that came out. And we're going to talk about that. But can you just like give us a sense of like technically like what'd you use, how'd you do it, like how did this come together? Because I'm going to tell you, for those who haven't heard this, I mean, this sounds amazing. This song is really well crafted. So like how'd you do it?
Yeah, man, it's so crazy because the whole process took me like all of maybe 10 minutes to put all that from idea to like putting it out on Twitter, where it first went viral. But heard the song or saw the lyric on saw BBL Drizzy trending on Twitter, wrote some lyrics really quick, and then went to Suno, which is like the new AI, generative AI music platform.
Spell
and then
that? Suno?
Yeah, SUNO.
Okay.
And then just put the lyrics in there, and then just started just like prompting. And I want to say like after maybe like the third or fourth different just like rendering, I just heard that track. I heard the guy singing, and woo, this, I can't sing like he can, but and I was just like, oh, this sounds good. And so I put out two versions of it. The first version actually got like I think it's probably like over 1 million now as well. It was like a older black guy, like raspier voice. But and then I heard that and I was like, I gotta put both of them out. Like normally I wouldn't do that, but I was just like, both of these sound really good. And then because they responded so well, then I was just like, all right, let me put this other version of it. I put the R&B version out, and people were just like, yo, I want to hear more. So then I just went on this run of just doing from Afro beats to country to like you name it, like every type of version, a jazz version. I had a couple, actually. I had an opera version. I never put it out, but I mean, I made a lot. So eventually, probably I'll put like a whole BBL Drizzy compilation out. But yeah.
So I'm curious.
That was the process.
There's an old oh god, it's a collaboration. It's a Diddy and this other guy. You did like a music video for an existing song.
Oh, no, the Sway Lee,
right?
Tough Love, yeah.
Right. So I'm curious, like, why, unless I missed it, like, why is there no music video for BBL Drizzy? Or are you kind of just like, am I kind of like jumping the gun? Is that coming? Like, what?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was just I think I was just so focused on putting songs out at the time because I was like, it was literally like every day for like, has it been 2 weeks now? I guess 2 weeks. I've been putting out songs, so more so like I guess my attention has been more so like just music, music, music. Because not only have I been like flipping like old hip hop songs, I've been making like original songs as well. So and then on top of that, like all this new attention that I'm getting, it's been a little, I don't say overwhelming. It's just a new experience or whatever. So trying to monitor that because making the videos, I pretty much like lock in, just kind of laser focus on that. But I haven't even, the video thing I haven't even really thought about like doing, but I should definitely probably do one.
And I don't want to ask you like get too technical. People can check out Suno on their own, but like,
Mhm.
I think that one of the things that impressed me was like, can you just explain how this happened? Like, there's like the AI song is going, and then there's kind of like this Motown backup singer, no Diddy. Like, how does
Oh,
that? Do you have to like? Is there some? I've never used Suno. Is there like some? Like, how does that work? Like,
yeah, you write the lyrics. So like I just wrote all the lyrics out and then it kind of, for the most part, it puts it together whatever the way it puts it together. Like if I mean, I got it open right now. I can let you hear like the different versions that came out that sound totally different. Like same lyrics, as you see with the different versions. Like there's I have like an R&B version that I really really like, but in that version it focuses more on the no Diddy part. So it's like I'm going in no Diddy, I'm going, and it repeats that a bunch of times. So it's still kind of it all sounds dope, but it's kind of random. You put the lyrics in and it's kind of random how it exports it.
okay, and just to be clear, so this is not you with like a 20 track deck and doing all this is just right now, this is just AI. So I'm just thinking, what if this was paired with like a full, I guess, traditional music production setup? It would be
Yeah,
even more insane.
yeah,
um
exactly.
so so
For me, I'm sorry, go ahead.
go ahead. No,
Oh no, I'm just saying for myself, like it's like the best time for me because like I've made prior to like making BBL Drizzy, I was making so many comedy songs. Like I got on my SoundCloud, I think maybe close to like 200 songs that I've made, just straight comedy songs. So I've always told, I was like, man, if I could just hire some singers, or if I could sing myself to like with my lyrics, I was like, I was like, man, my stuff will go viral. And I'm seeing that now with AI. Like I can literally, just create whatever type of genre I want and then just pair it with, these funny lyrics. And people just, they're really enjoying it. So this is like the best time for me because like, like I'm like a workaholic and like I don't, all I think about is like, yo, what can I create next? So this is the fact I can do all this stuff from my laptop. This is like the best time to be alive.
absolutely. And obviously the next question is there an album coming? Because when I'm listening to this, so we cover a lot of AI,
Hmm.
creation, and we've talked a lot about, AI films, maybe horror being the best genre. We haven't seen a ton of like really good comedy
Mm.
being done in the AI creation space. And I was kind of thinking, okay, so if he does an album, how's that work? And then I thought, oh wait, Weird Al Yankovic, if
Yeah,
you know that fame. And I'm thinking like that guy has been super successful, and it seems like that might be your obvious lane to like maybe
yeah.
put something together as an album. Like what do you think about like that?
Yeah, I would love to, man. Like, I mean, funny enough, like that's actually how I got started doing content creation. Like one of my biggest songs on YouTube was a parody of that Soldier Boy Crank That. It was called Crank That Homeless Man. And that went like super viral back in like 2007. So like I started out making song parodies. That's how I felt like I got really good as a comedic songwriter, is doing song parodies. But then the song parodies just like, I don't say they became easy, but I just wanted to challenge myself a little bit more. So I started trying to make like original songs, and that went from making the typical comedic where it's just like you kind of picking at things, but then it just became where, okay, I'm making a comedic song about anything, like anything that I see, just to like challenge myself. So I would always go check things that are trending. Like I made a song about falling in love with a woman at the drive-through, like just whatever, like random I could make a song about, just to keep that muscle turning. So now, when things trend, I can just like look at it and be like, okay, I can find an angle. So like I was explaining earlier, the Amanda song that kind of went viral, and the new
Oh,
Kendrick song.
yeah, we should explain because we were talking before we actually started. So you
Okay.
also did like kind of like, I guess, a parody comedy take on the recent Amanda Seales, I
Hmm.
guess, social media phenomenon in the
Yeah.
wake of her interview with Shannon Sharp. Um, for those who don't know, Amanda Seales, one of the former cast members of HBO's Insecure. Shannon Sharp has a very popular podcast, video podcast on YouTube. And she went on there, did an interview, and it got a little wild. And the aftermath has also been wild. And so you dove into those waters. And you said she mentioned your song. She actually reposted it.
Yep. She reposted it, and was like laughing at it, the whole time. And as I was making it, it was one of those things where I was like, I don't know how this might be received, just because like you never know how the internet receives anything.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
somebody can take a snippet or make a repost of something, and just like it can go crazy. But she received it really well. But I think part of it is because like when I make my comedy, it's even with BBL Drizzy, it's not really to poke fun at people. Like it's not mean spirited, rather. Like it's just more of a lighthearted, kind of funny take. And like that, the Amanda song was definitely from like her perspective. So the easy route would have been to pick at her, and pick at
Right.
the things that she said in that song. Then I could have definitely made a version of that, but it was more impactful to make it from her angle, make it more empowering for her, and that's why it took off the way it did.
I think that's super smart, brilliant, avoiding the mean spirited angle. I think that's also been the secret to Weird Al's success. It's always poke fun, parody, not go mean spirited. Has anyone like from the music industry proper reached out to you or referenced you about BBL Drizzy? I'm curious.
No, Rick Ross was in the comments though. He liked it, and like laughed at it. Um, and nah, but not, so my DMs are like are in shambles right now. I'm not even gonna lie. Like
So you
I've
might
been
have a big one in there that you just haven't seen yet.
Yeah. So actually there has been yeah, I have had a couple people reach out. A couple of bigger names or whatever, but not as far as like BBL Drizzy, but just like maybe wanting to do some stuff. But the BBL Drizzy, I think Rick Ross probably couldn't comment just because like I think with the whole no Diddy thing, he's friends with Diddy. That might be, kind of weird. So um
And
but
just
yeah, man.
well, I was just gonna
Huh.
say for those listening and watching, we take any allegations with regard to Mr. Combs seriously. Our use of
Yeah,
Diddy is in fun. Uh, Will is a comedian, so this is all fun. We're not diminishing
yeah.
any of the the bad stuff on that side. So.
And to your point, I like the comedy I make is definitely never mean spirited, but it is in tune with the culture and like what's being said via Twitter and just like the culture. So it's part of the reason that song took off the way it was because like I like to add these nuances that just make people laugh. So like it would be a disservice not to throw the no Diddy thing in there. I don't know any. I've never met him. Don't know anything about his past. If I wish everybody the best. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
yeah. So
But
yeah,
wait,
but
what
it's
isn't
never
there a
really
guy?
scary.
But isn't there like a big guy who just did a No Diddy song? Do you know who I'm talking about? There's a dude. He's like pretty big. Is it Yachty?
Gucci Man did one.
Gucci
Yeah,
Man. Okay, yeah. Like he did
yeah,
like a full song like called No Diddy. So it's
yeah.
out there.
So
If you know,
yeah.
you
So
know.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily put that much shine on it. It was just it works in my context because it's just like a quick little thing, the way people would use it on Twitter, you know,
Right.
and just keep it moving. Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. So let's talk about you. Where are you
Mhm.
from? Where are you based? How'd you get started? I know you have like a stand-up comedy background. Tell us just like kind of who are you? Who is Willonius Hatcher?
Yeah, man.
And by the way,
Geez.
your name, Willonius, Thelonious Monk.
Yeah,
I'm assuming that's kind of like a play on.
yeah. Right. Very similar to Thelonious, but with a will. So Willonius. But I'm from South Florida. Uh, uh, born in Georgia. You know, just South Georgia, and man, I just kind of view myself as just like all around creative. Been doing stand up comedy for uh almost close to 20 years. Had some good success doing stand up, you know, but never was able to like fully like kind of like break through. Partly because I feel like my interests would always kind of like waver. Like I'd be like, I like stand up. Maybe I'm not getting as much, notoriety or success right now. So I would dive into music, film, writing. I wrote books, and for me, it's just like all about like being creative and also just trying to stay up on the newest technology that's out there. So went to coding boot camp, learn how to code. Diving into XR, 3D animation, VR. This past year, I've been to MIT quite a few times and Harvard for their like XR, um, AR hackathons. But I'm just a curious dude that loves comedy. So comedy's always like my number one. But then I find like different mediums to kind of express myself. So prior to me really diving into like this AI stuff, like I was trying to break into the industry as a TV writer. I was doing a TV writing fellowship in 2022. Prior to that, I was part of the Clubhouse creator program where that's like a big pivotal moment for me because I was making like audio dramas. So I was pretty much like a showrunner making audio dramas. I made like 17 on Clubhouse. The most popular one was a series called Young and the Thirsty. It was a soap opera based on Clubhouse. We did 11 episodes of that where I had to write 30 pages plus every week, produce it, cast it. We had like a cast of 40 some people, and that was just like a bit of a big moment because I really stretched myself and was able to do something I never thought I'd be able to do. But yeah, just been pushing forward. And when the writer strike happened, I had a bunch of meetings lined up because of my fellowship with some big agencies. Thought I was gonna get signed, and I was like, all right, I'm about to make it. I'm about to be in the industry, and this is about to be a big turning point. Then the writer strike happened. Couldn't have any meetings, and and then I just was like, look, man, I'm messing around with AI every day anyway. Like I was learning Chat GPT, obsessed with Midjourney, and then I just decided to like start putting my work out because at the time, it's weird because like some people are like it's kind of like cool to like hate on AI, and so
Right.
I didn't want to get like blackballed and be like, oh man, like the industry's gonna see that I'm messing around with AI. I'm never gonna be able to get into the industry and do my thing. So, but then I was just like, you know what, like this is who I am. Like I'm literally like studying, implementing, learning AI every day. So I was like, I'm just going to start. I'm not going to hide. I'm just going to this is show people who I am. So I just started putting my stuff out, and I started getting a good response to it. And around June 2023, I believe it was, like that's when like Gen 2 kind of opened up to like everybody, and I put my first Gen 2 production AI film out on my Instagram, and I thought it was great, and I'm like, yo, this is gonna go viral because I was seeing some of the videos that were going viral, and it did okay. It got a couple views, a couple comments and whatnot. And I was like, damn. But I was like, all right, I'm gonna just keep going. And then in August of 2023, I just made a decision. I was like, I'm gonna start putting out videos every week. I was like, I don't care if if people like it or not. I'm just gonna put out an AI video every week. And I just kind of, obviously, I would miss some weeks just traveling and whatnot, but I stayed true to that. And a year later, it was so crazy. Like now, stuff is starting to go viral in a big way. So I've had like 3 videos that have gone a million plus, and then more recently, the music is just taking off to a whole nother level.
Man, there's so much there, and there's a lesson there, by the way. Consistency, remaining focused. I have so many questions, but as a VR AR nerd myself, I'm just curious. Like, what are you using? Like, do you have your home set up in VR? Like, is there any particular flavor you
I have the
prefer?
MetaQuest. I have the MetaQuest 3.
Okay.
Messing around with like Unreal Engine. Even though I don't, even like with writing, man. Like I'm so much AI that like the writing that I was doing before, the Unreal Engine stuff. Like I don't have a lot of time to like dive into it, the way you want to, because it's like anything. You gotta you gotta have a certain level of focus and time that you have to put in. But VR is really cool, man. Like I was doing stand up in Alt Space in
Alt Space
20.
VR, yeah.
Yeah,
I think Microsoft just shuttered it maybe 6 months ago,
Alt
and
Space is
Burning
so
Man
cool, man.
happened, yeah, on Alt Space VR. But Alt Space VR was this amazing virtual reality community
So
where,
dope.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you can meet. I met people. You could form relationships. It was, and so you did stand up. So wait, so you did stand up in one of those virtual comedy clubs
Yeah,
on
so
Alt
I did it in a
Space?
virtual comedy club, and then my friend Ope, she built me a comedy club
Oh wow.
just to
Okay.
do. She built like I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like she built a comedy club, it had a pool table, we had the stage, we had a bunch of people show up. We had maybe like 30 people show up. On the side, she built a like a movie screen. So right after my stand up, we watched this short film that I made about the
Nice.
metaverse. And
Oh my
it
god.
was so crazy because like she put a picture. She had a picture of Chappelle, Patrice O'Neal, and then me in the middle. And I was just like, okay, I was like, I received that. Thank you. I was like, I'm not. Those like literally like my 2 goats when it comes to like stand up. But it was just so dope, man. But the things that that's the beauty of like a VR. Like you can create spaces like that, for yourself or for other people, and then just people come together and just have a great time. And it was just a beautiful experience. I would like always be forever grateful for that, because I was like, nobody ever built me a comedy club before. Like that's just so dope, man. So
That is
yeah.
dope. And for those who don't know, Patrice O'Neal, now the late Patrice O'Neal, passed away. He is a legend, not just
Mm,
for fans, but among comedy luminaries. He is
yep.
like he's a giant. And he's actually easily accessible via YouTube. You can check out anyone
Yeah.
who's unfamiliar with Patrice O'Neal. Um, I think one of the important points that you made was that you kind of have this background in content creation from a writer perspective, doing actual live stand up, not just in VR, but actual in meet space,
Hmm.
writing scripts, writing dialogue. You mentioned the Clubhouse thing. I feel like people like yourself, whether it's writers, comedians, filmmakers, people, I think there's kind of like right now, there's almost like this gap of missed opportunity for some. Like if you
Mm,
have like a grounding in traditional creation and production from a creative standpoint, you have the advantage with these AI
right.
tools. And if you
Right.
kind of just like leave them to the side and I guess let people who haven't done any production in the past, if you just leave it to them, some of those people are brilliant, but a lot of those people just don't have some of the nuance and the chops that
Mm,
someone like yourself or even our own Kevin the Kid on Instagram, got to plug him, new workout right now. If you have like a grounding in the back in like the real staple of production, AI becomes kind of like a superpower. Take
yeah.
me back really quick to the Clubhouse days, like during the pandemic. when comedians weren't really allowed to do stand-up in person. There were some comedians kind of innovating their way around the no contact rules by doing outside performances for like drive-in, audiences. And then, the VR stuff. But, Clubhouse was this great meeting place for people to kind of like get to know each other and find some community during the pandemic. Like, as someone who was doing stand-up in person before, like, how did you, I guess, navigate those waters, like creatively? Like, how did that impact you? And do you think it's had any lasting change on us generally?
Yeah. Oh man, I still go back. I just met one of my Clubhouse friends last weekend, but Clubhouse was like a very pivotal point in my career and just life in general. Because I got on Clubhouse October 2020, and I just kind of hit the ground running. My first day, I made a room, and it was like I was just making like parody rooms. So I think, yeah, it was the day that Mike Pence had that fly on his forehead.
Oh, right, yeah, on the
So
head,
that was
yeah.
yeah. So I made
SNL
a
did like a
room.
little take on that, yeah.
Yes, I made a room as the Fly, and everybody changed their PTR to act like the Fly, and they started like giving commentary as the Fly. So like that was my whole Clubhouse experience. I had the largest comedy club on the app, so we had like 250,000 members, and it would just be like funny rooms. All when piggybacking was the term on Clubhouse, like everybody's like. So I have made a room called the art of piggybacking, something piggybacking and talking in circles. So everybody would come on stage and just piggyback the next person and then just like go crazy. So, and then I started getting into doing the audio dramas, and that just took off. But we would do stand up on Clubhouse. I would meet so many individuals, because everybody was kind of on that app. But I mean, so many entertainers, so many people in the just
Tiffany
dope individuals.
Haddish was
Tiffany
like big
Haddish,
on
Kevin Hart
Clubhouse,
came
yeah.
through. I did Tyrese's erotic poetry night, which was weird but also hilarious.
Okay.
Back then, he was calling himself Voltron Life. I thought it was just.
I
It
missed
was
that.
funny.
Okay, I missed that one. All right.
I was like, "What is this?" But the beauty of Clubhouse, man, was just like the community. Like you just met people that were like you, that you can just have a great conversation with. I think you're just able to find your tribe, on that app.
So I want to circle back, Will, back into kind of more of the AI side. We know you best from your music, BBL Drizzy and other hits or soon to be hits. But you also like for, if people don't know, you've been involved in creating AI videos for some time. Um, I wanted to like take a look at a few of them really quickly, just and talk about a couple of them. First, I want to look at the lick back renaissance.
Harlem, 1920s. A beat of jazz, a burst of science, the dawn of the lickback era. Meet Zora, the genius. Her discovery? A power that defies time, reshaping tomorrow. In the night, romance and rhythm intertwine while shadows plot in silence. A race against time. Governments clash for a technology that could change history. From Harlem's vibrant streets to the wonders of the year 5000, a battle rages to control the future.
Willonius. So that's just part one. There's a part two that's already out there. Explain what is that? That's kind of like you take us to the Harlem Renaissance and then propel us into the future. Give us an idea of like what's going on there.
Yeah, it's just basically this woman, genius scientist Zora. She discovers this element ether that allows her to unlock space time, and then she's obviously in the Harlem Renaissance, the early 1920s. in Harlem, and now she's able to deal with beings that are in the year 5000, and it's just like chaos ensues. And it was just a concept that I had, just again, like from my background of screenwriting, like all of my stories initially when I was making a lot of these AI trailers, it just came about because I was like, I have all these stories that I've written, or even ideas, and I was like, I can kind of use AI to visualize them and maybe show people. Really, still trying to break into Hollywood. So I'm like, maybe I can send this to an agent, send this to somebody that they can understand what it is that I want to create. Because I tried the pitching thing, and I was, I guess, trying to get better at it. But I'm like, but visuals, if I can show you exactly what it is, that's more powerful than me just telling you about this idea. And then but the process of making these films was so much fun that I just was like, I just like doing this more so than actually pitching or doing anything. So, and then I was getting a decent response on Instagram, to the point I was like, I would just want to keep making these productions. So yeah.
All right, and I we often talk about AI films as kind of like a way to kind of visualize an idea, particularly if you're trying to sell a script or project to Hollywood. So again, this is like the perfect, demonstration of that. Quickly, I want to take a look at Kuji Tokaido. So,
Man.
okay, I love that, and the reason I love it is because one of my favorite, I guess this is gosh, I'm forgetting the name of the series, but Afro Samurai was kind
Woo.
of like kind of like a big. It was kind of like one of my, I guess, guilty pleasures, and I haven't seen anything like it in a long time, and this really reminded me of that. But the animation style that you picked, and the colors and the treatment, it was evocative of that series for me, and it really, even though there wasn't any, dialogue, and it's kind of just like a trailer, it kind of got me excited to see what's next. Like,
Mm.
have you, played with possibly exploring that a little bit more? Because again, this is animation. This isn't trying to be live action or a 3D
Yeah.
CGI. Have you, thought about doing
Yeah,
something
so
with this?
that's one of, and I'm thank you for highlight, because I've like nobody ever highlights that. Like I get lit back a lot. Sometimes the Stevening with the Steve Harvey, and obviously the one with Cat Williams, the Avengers, because Cat Williams shared that. But um that one, that's one of the projects I wanted this year. Not even I'm going to make this year. It's just like I was like, I want to an anime, like a full anime or whatever. Like the tech is there now where I can essentially make that. Um, so I'm excited about making an anime, because I just think that after going to see the Terminator 2 remake in LA last month, in March, I was just like, I gotta think bigger now. Like the short form stuff for Instagram and YouTube, like that's cool, but like where can we actually take this AI, these productions now? So yeah, so the anime, that's one of the projects I want to make
That's
happen this year. So yeah,
As
thank you for.
we also had Ben, who's one of the creators of that, or one of the contributors to that T2 remake project on the 100 Year podcast.
Oh
Um,
man,
the next one I
amazing
want to
experience.
show, this is kind of like for comic book nerds who know kind of like rumors that circulate about possible projects. I want to check out Kal-El, the Calvin Ellis story. Okay, I have
Oh,
to say, I got chills watching that the first time because, okay, for those who don't follow comic book geek news, there was a rumor out there I don't know, maybe a year ago. Maybe I'm getting my time off a little bit, but there was a rumor that Michael B. Jordan might be tapped to play the new Superman. And my assumption is that that kind of rumor is what this is based on. But I got chills because it's like, I remember thinking, I'm kind of like a purist when it comes to franchises and comic books. I kind of, if it's James Bond, I want it to be James Bond. If it's Superman, I want it to be Superman. But this got me excited for kind of like a possible reimagining. And the music, the way you show his background, his father speaking to him, the church scene, it really. Have you seen Brightburn, by the way?
No, I haven't seen Brightburn.
So Brightburn is kind of like a horror version of the Superman story. And I remember when I first heard the premise, I wasn't really excited. I was like, oh, whatever. But when you actually watch Brightburn, it's fascinating what they do with the source material. And it's not official, but it's clear it's a Superman kind of alternate universe take. This is what that feels like. Your take. I don't know. I've spoken enough about it. Tell me, because I can see you getting excited about it while we were playing it. Like, what was your inspiration? Like,
yeah, man, just exactly what you said. It was just like knowing that Michael B. Jordan potentially could play Superman. But I think they were talking about him playing Clark Kent, and I'm like, why is he not Calvin Ellis? Like, that's, you got a whole like story like lined up, and I remember just hearing that song. It's called "Nobody Knows" by Pastor Barrett, and when I first heard it, like the image of that just jumped in my mind, and I hit my friend up and I was like, yo, could you do a voiceover for this? I just appreciate you mentioning that, because like when I made that video at the time, this was like the end of December, it was towards the end of the year, I was like, this is the one. I was like, I was like, this is the best video I've made so far. And I was just so excited about it. I remember putting it on Instagram, and Instagram completely blocked it. Like, they wouldn't even allow me to upload it. And I was like, this is crazy. Cause I was like, I really was like, I love that video so much.
Why do you think they blocked it? Like, what was the problem?
Because of the music. They were saying that the music,
we're probably gonna have to deal with that. Yeah.
So people that on Instagram, they haven't seen that video from me. Hopefully, maybe they went to Twitter or YouTube, but probably not. But man, I just love that whole video. So I mean, again, I really thank you for just highlighting that one, because again, most time it's just people talk about lick back and the Stevening is always, but that was like that was like one of my favorite ones, man. Like I really
got excited. I mean, and I think it's important because sometimes, when Hollywood wants to, I guess, tap a particular community or tap a particular take, maybe their options are limited in terms of visualization and treatment.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was a great directive in terms of, hey, Hollywood, this is how you could treat this story if you do happen to go there. One last one. I want to show your take on hip hop Game of Thrones featuring Drake, Kendrick Lamar, and J. Cole.
In a realm torn by war and treachery, two icons emerged to claim their destiny. Lord Drake of the Six and Saint Germain of Cold World formed an alliance that some claimed was as big as a Super Bowl. King Kendrick, upon learning of this union, declared that there shall be one true king, as he had no interest in kumbayas or big threesomes. In his haste, Saint Germain struck first, attacking King Kendrick, but after many sleepless nights he apologized and decided to pull out. No Diddy. But is it too late?
Even if you are not ready for the day, it cannot always be night. Sir, flex I do work. 6 up like Mike. He's out of sight. Whoa, you done got me pipe. You man like Ike. 6 out the spot. Ain't to be night.
Yeah, I'm shaking the drop. I'm still up on top. I've been at the bottom.
Let's get right.
The devil my eye.
Let's get right. Let's get right.
My God at the top. We gon' blaze our way out the grave, dog. Living, speaking, praise God. Walking out the graveyard back to life. I serve
Brilliant. Now,
Man.
wait, help me on the timeline. Is this before BBL Drizzy? Is this like, I'm assuming,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So House Drake, House J. Cole, House Kendrick Lamar.
Yep.
Uh, I don't know. What's your take? What's give me the background.
Yeah, I just it was just again how I mentioned, like I was just doing a video a week. So it was just like this is my weekly video. And at the time the beef had just started, like brewing. This was maybe it came out a couple days. Well, I started working on it a couple days after J. Cole released his first diss track. And by the time I finished it, J. Cole pulled he issued his apology. But I just wanted to kind of do like a creative spin on what was happening in the culture. And I was like, all right, if I do like Game of Thrones with these characters, I think that'll be something like creative that I can, I guess, just add to my portfolio and just kind of mess around with. So it turned out, pretty well. So I was like really excited about it. But that was just the whole idea behind it, was just like, this is my weekly video. I want to put Kendrick, because this is like this big beef that they're having, Kendrick, Drake, J. Cole, and then put them in the Game of Thrones universe, and like let's see what that looks like.
And what like break down your tool list, like for not just for
Mhm.
this video, but for all of your videos, even if they've varied over time. Like, what have you been
Yeah.
using in general?
Just the big three, man. Mid Journey, Runway, and 11 Labs. Like that's pretty much the workflow. And then I edit in Adobe Premiere. Trying to think what other tools I
Any
might
kind of
use.
upscaling tools
Yeah,
or
I use Magnific to upscale. Um, I'm trying to think.
what
What other
about
tools?
maybe non AI tools? Are you using any kind of like non AI tools to clean things up or add different things? Or okay, okay.
Nah. I just everything else, everything I do, it's just I create images in Mid Journey, and then render them out or animate them in Runway. And then take it to Adobe Premiere, and then whatever I need to add in Adobe Premiere, I do it there, and so it's pretty straightforward and simple. And then 11 Labs for just like the voices, and I'm trying to think if there's any other tools I might use. I feel like that's it.
So I'm curious,
Like,
like, so Adobe has shown off some of their AI features in Photoshop. And now we
yeah.
have the announcement that Premiere will be adding these very interesting new AI features later this year. Is that part of the reason why you use Premiere? Or were you already a Premiere user? I'm
Yeah, I
curious.
was always using Premiere. I know a lot of people use CapCut and DaVinci, but Premiere's just always been my workflow, and I know it, and it's just I'm too old to learn new tricks. So
Okay. Well, no,
yeah,
you're
so
learning a few. No, you're learning a
yeah,
few.
yeah. But I mean, it's just I heard people talk about CapCut so much. I was like, oh, maybe I can dive into this because I can like edit it on my phone. But like, I like the flow of using my laptop and just using Premiere. I know where everything is at, and then you can use it with After Effects and integrate with After Effects. So, and then I just think that Adobe, I feel like this Adobe's going to come out on top, or just be at the top of this whole AI thing once it's all said and done. So I'm gonna just, yeah. So Premiere works for me.
So you told us about going to the prompt battle in Vegas. You're now in Los Angeles for a visit, kind of, you know, I guess not AI related specifically, but there is a lot of activity happening in LA. Curious Refuge, as you mentioned before, who, previous guests of the show, they are in LA. I'm curious, like, are you speaking to other creators, AI creators, about what they're using, what they're doing, and profile wise, like what does that person look like? Are they generally people who don't have a creative background and this is their first shot at putting things together, or are they
Mhm.
kind of veterans? Like, what's your experience on the ground, mingling with people?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like all different levels. So I meet a lot of people that their backgrounds like in coding, Blender. Definitely, as I here in LA, you meet a lot of like filmmakers, so that have really like embraced the tools. Um, Not too many, except for I was gonna say not too many comedians, but there is one comedian. Her name is Jagger. She just won the prompt battle. She's fully embraced it, but I mean, I think that's probably the beauty of like of this whole AI community. Like it's just a wide spectrum of like different individuals and different backgrounds that kind of come in and they see the tools and they just find ways that they can be creative or just express themselves or even just make work faster and easier for them. Um, yeah, but it's been such a beautiful, supportive community, and that's why I try to come out whenever there are AI events like the prompt battle or the T2 or like last night with the AI film festivals because like then you get to really see some of these people and because a lot of time I feel like with just this AI community, it's a big community on Twitter, but it's also it feels very like isolated, so like unless people are really excited about AI, it's just like you might talk to your friends about it and they're like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, I don't know what you got going on over there, and I really don't care. So, and then you can only tweet so much to people, So having face to face time with them and they're just excited about it as you, feels it's very refreshing. So,
Are, are
um,
are you getting any pushback from traditional entertainment people, whether it's agents, PR people, you know, writers, actors, filmmakers? Are you still hearing kind of negative feedback? Are they asking you questions now? Like just before you answer, like I've seen that you've done some education, like you
mhm,
have gone around and done, live, talks, like educating people about, various
yeah,
AI tools and people who maybe are just kind of like oh well when someone tells me to do it maybe I'll do it, but you're kind of like aggressively out there kind of like
yeah,
letting people know this is something that they should investigate. So in terms of
yeah.
like I guess the traditional bedrock people who are already in the entertainment business, are you still hearing negative feedback or no?
Not as much, and maybe I might have my filter on where I, maybe not even noticing it, but I mean, I think initially there was some pushback, especially from like writers, because I had, I was in a writing program and like had a lot of friends that were writers. Still, to this day, they're friends, and I think that was just the pushback because we were in the writer strike. But what I found is there were two things. One as- once people start messing around with the tools, then their perception changes or their stance changes. If not dramatically, slightly. But then two, uh, there are a lot of people that are using these tools that are like hiding that they're using these tools. So they're like they're pro AI, but they don't want to be pro AI. They're like they're just not on the front line. So
So kind of like
um,
steroid use but not telling people that you're on
yeah,
steroids. Gotcha.
exactly. Exactly. You're like, but you can notice it sometimes, especially when people use ChatGPT a lot. Like I can sometimes like read a document like I think this was written by AI, but I think people are embracing it more. Definitely with this music that's coming out right now. I think that's going to be the big thing that like really makes the culture and the masses like adopt AI or be more accepting of it, because like um, making AI films, it can be it's a tedious process. It can be at times. ChatGPT, like it was sexy when it first came out. Now people are like, I use some time. Like they're not really. I mean, people still use it, but with the AI music, it's so easy for somebody to just jump in and make a song. So, and you're seeing that now with like all these Motown song YouTube pages that are like popping up. So I think that's going to be the thing. And then Drake, obviously using AI, I think that gave permission to everybody to be like, go crazy with it. Go make all the AI music you want to make. So I definitely see, within before this year is out, like I see a lot more people embracing it because it takes one tool and then you start exploring like other tools and you're like, oh man, like I don't know, I can make music, but let me also, start messing around with large language models a little bit more. Oh, I can actually, the whole process of making like a short film or a video for my business isn't as complicated as I thought it was. I can, dive into that. And the next thing you know, they're not there on your podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they've embraced AI completely as well. So the tide is definitely shifting. But like I said earlier, I think it's kind of cool to be like, I'm anti AI, and you can say I hate AI, and there's always going to be, I feel like, 3 or 4 people that be like, yeah, me too, man. And but yeah, I don't see that as much anymore. But again, I think it's just because of the circles that I'm putting myself in.
Okay, well,
But
you
anytime I
actually
talk to people, I bring AI up. So yeah.
gotcha. With the Drake thing, you actually kind of got my last question. So that was my last question. So I'll change my last question to this. For those who are concerned that,
hmm
you know, I kind of made the steroids reference, PEDs reference. For
hmm
those who are concerned that this will somehow dilute or diminish creativity, like, what would you say to them? Not just from the music perspective, but from writing, filmmaking. There's an argument to use, for using these tools to kind of enhance your inherent abilities. But what
Yeah.
happens if someone is, I don't know, 15, 16 years old? They haven't spent 10, 15 years at editing bays or out with an actual camera shooting or writing countless scripts, just
Yeah.
born straight from their brain. And instead of that training ground, they just jump right into these tools. Do you have any concerns? And if not,
Mm.
how would you address the concerns of others that this may somehow diminish or dilute human creativity?
Yeah, I think it's I mean, it's like in life, man. There's balance and there's the yin and the yang to everything, right? So, you can probably just look to like older tech where, because we have Google Maps, people don't know how to read, compasses or maps anymore, So um you take away your Google Maps and somebody just, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't even know how to navigate my way around. Luckily, hopefully it's there forever. But I think you'll just have a situation where, if somebody comes in and their starting point is AI, then they're just that's all they know, and they'll just, just advance like crazy within that medium. But I think the ones that are smart, they'll know that they need to study and just be diligent in learning the old ways of doing things, because that'll make them so much more well-rounded, in any discipline. Like, it's even if you started out like first like a musician that only does like Fruity Loops, that musician that's like, let me go back and go listen to other genres of music, let me go maybe learn how to read music, or just to um just so I have a well-rounded view of like this particular field. Their musical, I feel like, will just trump anybody that's just like, I don't care about none of that. I'm just going to be in Fruit Loops all day. There might be an advantage to that as well, because like you'll probably learn certain nuances of that particular tech and software that the other person might not know. So I think it's one of those things where we just have to kind of see, where this takes us. And um but it doesn't hurt. It doesn't, it doesn't hurt to learn. The more you know, the knowledge you have and you can bring to these use these tools, the better, so that's the approach I take. Like, I'm still trying to learn as much as I can about cinematography, about directing, because I know that, as I'm making these AI short films, I can be even better, So luckily, with these large language models, like, you can kind of like, you can learn a lot, really fast. So like, I'm like, okay, give me, a master class in cinematography. Now, am I going to be as good as somebody that's been studying it for 10 years? No, but I can be better than I was yesterday, just by, putting in the right prompts to help me accelerate my education. So
That's a
yeah,
great perspective.
I
Gotcha.
don't
Okay, so final, truly final question.
mhm.
We brought up Drake a couple of times, and how he used kind of like, or he created, or I guess sampled, basically used AI to put Snoop and Tupac on his record. Um, and since then, the estate of Tupac has requested, or threatened legal action, and I believe Drake took the song down. But how far do you think we are from not just something like BBL Drizzy from yourself, but like a major label releasing like an AI record that also becomes a hit? Like, what's the time window? How far from that are we?
This year, probably this year. I
Okay,
wouldn't be surprised. I mean, the way this music is sounding, um, the way people are like embracing it, like at the end of the day, I think people just want to hear something dope, because you look at a lot of our biggest artists, nobody really cares who the ghostwriters are and who wrote it. They don't care that this song had auto tune and that the person performing probably doesn't sing like they sound on the radio. They just like, yo, this sounds amazing, and I want to hear it in the club. So, the only thing that's like the barrier right now is just I guess the legal side of it. If it becomes cool where it's just like, hey man, the 90 songs or 20 songs out of the top 100 Billboard or AI songs, and that's okay, then you know people just will be okay with it. I think the culture kind of dictates that a little bit, where people are just like, I don't want to hear that. If there's loud voices of people saying like, we don't want this stuff, then it might hinder its progress a little bit. But I once I heard like BBL Drizzy and heard what these platforms are doing, I'm like, it's not I can see a future where the all the songs that you hear on the radio are AI generated. Like
gotcha.
that's not like this. I wouldn't be like blown away and was just like, wow, like that hit song was prompted by John whatever in Idaho. And man, and then the next song is another. He's like, wow, these guys are really great prompters. So maybe they'll make a whole category for that. I think that might honestly be the best thing, to just like have categories for specific genres, whether it be AI animation, AI music, and just kind of running like that. Yeah.
What's next? Like, you is in-person stand-up off your personal menu? Like, do you have any plans to continue that, or are you just like full bore just AI now? Like, what's going on for you in the future?
Yeah. I want to pretty much do it all, man. Like, just right now, stand AI is like taking so much of my time, and I've been getting like booked to do AI events. But stand ups is always my baby. I just did some stand up last week. I'm out here for Netflix as a joke, doing a couple events, and so I never shy away from that. Comedy's always number one. But right now, it's just like they say, go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. So like the AI stuff is hot. I'm getting to have cool interviews with individuals like you. So I'm gonna just just run with that. And plus I enjoy it so much, and it's so much fun. So, and it's allowing me to be express myself fully creatively. So,
Absolutely,
and I'm getting fans from
absolutely,
it. So like it's like,
absolutely. You
yeah,
have one here. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. You have a new
thank you, man.
fan.
Likewise. So I'm all in with
Um,
this. I'm all, yeah.
so give people, like, remind people where they can find you, not just AI on the AI front, but just in general. Remind people where they can find your work.
Yeah, just King Willonius on all platforms. Willonius.com is my website, and Willonius AI. I just have to finish that site up, but by the time this airs, I'll probably have all that stuff. But King Willonius is on all platforms.
And that's Willonius.
Willonius.
IUS. And also Avocado Poppy. Let's not forget that one.
Avocado Poppy, yeah. I got avocadopoppy.com as well. But Avocado Poppy is like my handle. That came about because I make avocado smoothies. And yeah, I just started calling myself Avocado Poppy.
Okay, well, Will, I will be watching you closely. This was so great to
Thank
talk
you.
to you. This is, we talk to a lot of people that kind of inspire us, but humor is difficult. You know, it's just it's not everyone can make you laugh, and you're not just making, you know, inspirational content, but you're actually making us laugh. I appreciate it. I think a lot of people are going to continue to enjoy your work. You can check us out at 100year.com for previous episodes. Check out the latest edition of the 100-year newsletter, the 100-year lens, at 100year.substack.com. We are on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. Please give us a like and subscribe. They matter. We really, it's important to us. And again, Will, thank you. And to the rest of you, we will see you next time.